with the Alaska Fire Service.
Hello everybody, we're going to hit you up with another presidential election. This one, the election of 1852. We are getting closer and closer to the Civil War as both of the major national parties put out brand new candidates. Who are those candidates going to be and who's going to win? We'll find that out right now. Now, as always, we're going to start off with the incumbent party, and the incumbent party in this case is the Whigs. Zachary Taylor, he's elected president in 1848, but he's only going to be president for a year and a half, and he dies on the 9th of July of 1850, and this results in his vice president, Millard Fillmore, to assume the presidency, the second vice president to do so. And by the time 1852 rolls around, he places his name in the ring in an attempt to win nomination for a full term. Now, he does have some opposition waiting for him. We have General Winfield Scott of New Jersey, Fillmore's Secretary of State Daniel Webster of Massachusetts, Edward Bates of Missouri, Rufus Choate of Massachusetts, and Fillmore's Attorney General John J. Crittenden of Kentucky. At the end of the day, it is going to be Fillmore who gets cast aside, and Winfield Scott is going to receive the Republican nomination for president. And if you haven't figured it out already, these Whigs bore a similarity, with the exception of 1836 when they ran 4 candidates in 4 different regions, and in 1844 when they nominated Henry Clay. The Whigs have pretty much stuck with the war heroes: William Henry Harrison in 1840, Zachary Taylor in the last election, 1848, and now Winfield Scott in the 1852 election. Now, Winfield Scott's going to bring along for the ride William A. Graham of North Carolina as his running mates. Now, we're going to talk about the Democrats. And the Democrats' nomination wide open. And we have, and this Democratic nomination is going to bore one similarity to the 1844 election. And we'll see why in just a second. But going down the list of candidates, we have Michigan Senator Lewis Cass, Joseph Lane of Oregon, Texas Senator Sam Houston, Supreme Court Justice Levi Woodbury of New Hampshire, William O. Butler of Kentucky, New York Senator Daniel S. Dickinson, Rhode Island Governor Philip Allen, and Wisconsin Senator Henry Dodge. But none of these guys get the nomination because another dark horse emerges at the Democratic National Convention, and he gets the nomination. It is Franklin Pierce of New Hampshire. Just like James K. Polk, Pierce is a dark horse. He emerges all of a sudden at the Democratic National Convention, and he's going to win the nomination. He is going to bring along for the ride Alabama Senator William Rufus King as his running mate. Now, this election also bears another big similarity. Just like 1844, the incumbent president is a war hero who is succeeded by his vice president, and his vice president does not get the nomination. Of course, we're talking about Millard Fillmore succeeding Zachary Taylor after Taylor dies, and both of them are Whigs. Now, going into the campaign, the Whig and Democratic platform was almost indistinguishable. So just like 1848, the election of 1852 is pretty much going to be a personality contest. The lack of clear-cut issues between the two parties helped draw voter turnout to its lowest since 1836. That voter turnout number, by the way, is 69.6%. This decline was further exacerbated by Scott's anti-slavery reputation, which would end up decimating the Southern Whig vote, at the same time as the pro-slavery Whig platform undermined the Northern Whig votes. After the Compromise of 1850 was passed, many of the Southern Whig Party members broke with the party's key figure, Henry Clay. Now, the Compromise of 1850 was opposed by Zachary Taylor, but he died, of course, before he could do anything with the compromise. So Millard Fillmore signs this Compromise of 1850 into law. This Compromise of 1850 admits California into the Union as a free state. It repeals the Missouri Compromise. A tougher fugitive slave law is enacted. The slave trade, but not slavery, is abolished in Washington, D.C. And most importantly here, and this is going to be one of the big causes of the Civil War, new territories out west now can decide amongst themselves whether they want to have slavery in their territory or not. Now, Winfield Scott is pretty much a war hero. Remember the Whigs' record of nominating war heroes as their presidential candidates, but this was offset because Pierce was a brigadier general in the Mexican-American War. As I said earlier, the Democratic Party and the Whig Party really don't have any differences as far as their platforms are concerned, and this is reduced pretty much down to a personality contest. Who is going to win this battle of personalities? Let's find that out right now. This is going to be a drumbling for the Whig Party. Franklin Pierce is easily going to win the presidency. For the Democrats, he's going to receive 254 electoral votes. Winfield Scott only receiving 42 electoral votes. And Winfield Scott is only going to manage to carry Vermont, Massachusetts, Kentucky, and Tennessee. Pierce is going to carry the remaining 27 states. But in terms of the popular vote, this is a little bit closer. 50.8% for Franklin Pierce, 43.9% for Winfield Scott. This is one of the more lopsided presidential election victories up to this point. And in spite of the apparent Democratic triumph, no Democrat would again win both the majority of the popular and electoral votes until FDR did it in 1932. This is also the final election the Whigs contest in, and the Whigs are soon going to collapse over the issue of slavery, and they're eventually going to be replaced by the Republicans. And the Whigs are pretty much going to collapse after this election, and they're going to be replaced by a new opposition party. We'll find out that opposition party in the election of 1856 next time. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you get a lot out of it. Pierce is the president. If you haven't seen any of my previous videos, go ahead and watch those if you want. And with that, we will see you next time.